Hello, my name is Nicole Nina, and I am the owner of Mindful Mountains, a psychotherapy practice that assists people with a variety of mental health conditions. Today, I am recording this video to talk to you all a little bit about cognitive behavioral therapy, which you may have read somewhere, CBT. That's what it stands for. So, cognitive behavioral therapy is an evidence-based modality of treatment that helps people overcome the thoughts that they have in their head. So all of us have this inner dialogue in our head that's constantly talking to us. A lot of times when I work with clients, it's difficult for them to identify their thoughts because for most of our lives, we just live listening to ourselves in our head. We don't really slow down and think about what we're saying or how we're reacting to situations. So in cognitive behavioral therapy, we look for patterns about what we tell ourselves, or we look for how we may be catastrophizing a situation, or how we may have really black and white thinking, or things of that nature. In this video today, I'm going to talk about a concept that I use a lot with my clients, which is the CBT triangle. So if you can imagine a little triangle, the top of it, we have our behavior. Over here, we have feelings, and over here, we have thoughts. This really is in no particular order. You may have seen a workbook where this is mixed up. It doesn't really matter. They all kind of play at the same level, if you will. So what I'm going to teach you in this video is how do you figure out what each of these things is for you in a particular situation or a particular thing that you're working on, and how can you overcome that? So I'm going to use two examples that I find my clients come to me a lot with. So I'm going to use one about feelings of anxiety. And then the second one I'll talk about is maybe feelings of sadness or even depression. So in the first one, let's talk about anxiety. So most people I find are able to identify, number one, the behavior, which is why I put it at the top of the triangle first. So a behavior is, what are you doing? If I was in the room with you, what could I see you doing in that moment? So a lot of people will say, I look distracted, or I look like I'm not doing anything. I'm in the shower. I'm curled up on the sofa. I'm disconnected is what I'm doing. That's my behavior. So then I'll say, okay, and what kind of thoughts were you having? So again, thoughts is that inner dialogue. What were you telling yourself? So this may look like you were telling yourself, I need to get this job done, or I need to accomplish this thing on my to-do list, or I just can't keep up with everything that I'm supposed to do. And if I don't keep up with everything that I'm supposed to do, then I'm going to lose my job, and then I'm going to lose my house, and then I'm going to fail. So particularly with anxiety, we tend to have spiraling thoughts. So sometimes people will have an initial thought, and then obviously you can go down the rabbit hole with what happens next. So some of what it would look like with behavior and with thoughts. And then lastly, what are you feeling? So a feeling is what sensation you're having inside. So if I was in the room looking for your behavior at the top of the triangle, I might not know what you're feeling, and I wouldn't know what your thoughts are telling you. So a feeling obviously here could be of anxiousness, or it could be of excessive worry, or it could be of sadness, or it could be of disappointment. So generally it takes a little bit of work to get here, to identify what are my thoughts, behaviors, and feelings. When you're able to slow down and really take inventory of what's going on, you can try to impact the triangle in some way. I usually find that people are able to impact either how they're behaving or what thoughts they're having. Feelings, I think, are a very difficult thing for us to just, oh yeah, now I'm feeling happy. It doesn't really work like that. So let's start with behavior. One of the things that you could do is you could say, what transitional activity or what thing could I do to get my mind off of that thought pattern of spiraling thinking? So maybe this could be going for a walk. Maybe it could be calling a friend. Maybe it could be playing a game that you really like. Whatever it is, sometimes if we orient our bodies to do something different, we can get the rest of our mind to follow. For thoughts, this is where CBT really comes into play. You're going to try and tell your thoughts what you want them to do. So in this example of being overly worried or having anxiety, you could try telling yourself, you know what? I am worried about this, but I do think I'm going to be able to accomplish this tomorrow at work, and I'm going to stop thinking about it. With anxiety, you want to make sure that you're honoring these thoughts, that you're sitting with these thoughts. But for the purposes of this video, this is a good place to start. Examine your thoughts. Are they rational? What could I do with this? So in either of those examples, if you did something or you tried to kind of confront your thoughts, you may be feeling a little bit better. You may be feeling hopeful after that. You may be feeling happy or excited or something like that. So this takes time and work. And if you want to know more about this, definitely consider booking an individual session with myself. But this is a great place to start. So now I'm going to move on to the second example, which is thoughts of sadness. So if you're feeling sad, maybe a behavior that you're having is that you're overeating, or that you're not eating enough, or that you're not going out with friends, or that you're not talking to other people. The thoughts you may be having with this could be, why is it worth it to see anybody? Why is it worth it to try? I'm not good enough. I'm not going to be successful, so why try? Some of that dialogue, where is it coming from? People can be sad for a lot of different reasons. And then, of course, feelings, we already identified that you'd be feeling sad. So what behavior could you have? You could try to fake it till you make it and go out with those friends. Maybe you won't have a great time, but you're going to try and get your body to get in the game and do something that you know would make you feel better. Maybe you're going to go grocery shopping and you're going to do some meal prepping. Maybe you're going to go for a walk. Walking is a behavior that I think helps a lot of people. With the thoughts, this is a good one, a good example to figure out, where is this coming from? So maybe when you start to do this thought work, you're going to notice, wow, I tell myself all the time that I'm not good enough. And maybe I need to recognize that I am good enough, and this is what I have accomplished. Or maybe you notice that you're catastrophizing, like, wow, how do I get to point Z when the only question I was asked was point A? Meaning, if somebody asks, do you want to go out tonight? Maybe they just mean, do you want to go out tonight? They don't have this secret agenda or this weird place that my thoughts are taking me to get to point Z, which is I'm not good enough. So whatever you do with your thoughts or your behavior, maybe you end up out with your friends that night and you're having more fun. Or maybe after looking at your thoughts and behaviors and you notice this pattern in your life, you want to do something about that. So I hope that this video was helpful to recognize your thoughts, which is your inner dialogue, your behavior, which is what you're doing, and your feelings, which is what sensation you're having inside. When you can identify in a moment how you're feeling in any of these areas, you can be the one to try and dictate, what can I do with this? If you have any questions, please reach out to me in the contact information below or leave a comment. Thank you.